Now, if I had to unlearn everything I've learned in the past 5 years managing OnlyFans creators and start completely from scratch in 2025, these are the core lessons and tactics that I would focus on as a complete beginner. And by the way, there's going to be no BS. This is exactly what's worked for me, and let's jump into it. For those of you who are new here, my name is Markuss Hussle. I've been in this industry of managing OnlyFans creators for coming up to around 5 years now. So I've made a lot of mistakes and I've learned from them, and that's what I'm here to teach you guys on how to kind of overcome them and actually avoid these mistakes that I learned the hard way. With actually managing these creators and being in the industry for this amount of time, I've been able to accumulate over $5 million generated, been able to retire my mother, travel the world, get some supercars and all these fun things. But more importantly, actually help people and make a change for people's lives in a better direction. So with all of that being said, let's go into lesson number 1, which is mastering viral marketing. So this is going to be one of the core roots of everything that you do. Once you actually get a client, one of the first things that you'll have to focus on is actually making the client go viral, which then therefore brings in new fans over to the actual account itself. And for those of you who are completely brand new, by the way, if you don't even know what we're talking about within OFM, OnlyFans marketing, etc., it is one of the greatest opportunities in 2025 to make money. And if you want to learn specifically about the business model itself, I have an entire free course and free community that you can check out down below. But anyway, let's go back to lesson number 1, which is viral marketing. Now, trust me, I already know what some of you guys are thinking. Some of you guys are probably thinking, well, Markuss, I've never done marketing ever before. Where do I even start? It might seem like this super complicated and complex thing to do, but in reality, it is actually very, very simple. And one of the best strategies and pieces of advice that I can give to all of you is become an intentional consumer. And what I mean by that is every single one of you guys, including me, goes through social media on a daily basis, right? We all have it. Sometimes some of you guys use TikTok, some of you guys use YouTube, Instagram, and so on and so on. Now, whenever you are consuming content on social media, pay close attention to what draws you in and what makes you actually watch the entire thing. So let's just say, for example, when you're scrolling through Reels, if you are scrolling, and then you watch this one reel and you either like it or you share it or you just watch the whole thing and then you scroll to the next one, instead of just being like, okay, well, whatever, I just watched it, go into the next one, so on and so on, actually stop for a second and realize, okay, what made you watch the whole thing? And really analyze it. Okay, what's happened in the first 2 to 3 seconds to grab your attention to stop actually scrolling? And then what happens within the next 5 seconds of the TikTok or the reel to actually keep on watching the video? And then what happens at the end to make you either like it or share it to your friend and leave a comment? And all of a sudden, if you do this on a daily basis, you're going to start to understand how marketing works. Another example as well is if you guys are watching TV or you are just watching anything online, like a long form piece of content, and in between that, you typically have adverts, right? So when I was a kid, I always used to hate the advert breaks. I always used to think it's just a waste of time and it's just annoying. Let me watch my TV show or the movie, etc. Why is there ads in between? But what's actually super, super interesting is nowadays, since pretty much my business is marketing, I actually almost enjoy watching adverts. I remember speaking to my friend the other day when I went to cinema with my girlfriend quite a little while ago, before you get the adverts, right? Before the actual movie. And I actually really enjoy now watching adverts because I think of it from a consumer's point of view. Why is it interesting? What's going to make me actually take action on that product or the thing that they're trying to sell? Anyway, going back to social media, do the same thing. Whenever you guys are watching TikToks and Reels and you watch the whole thing yourself, analyze what made you actually watch the whole thing and write it down. Start writing these things down. Now, with all of that being said, how do you actually specifically use it with OnlyFans management? Well, you can quite literally, even if you don't have any clients right now, you yourself go on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, go on TikTok, go on Instagram and find an OF creator. Some of the biggest names like Sophie Rain and so on, right? Go through their entire social media profiles and look at what they're doing. How often are they posting? What platforms are they posting on? What is it that they're posting? Is it a bunch of reels? Is it carousels? Are they posting stories? How many stories? And are they posting a link in the story? And so on and so on. And genuinely just do a deep dive of their social medias, which is completely free and accessible to all of you guys. And what's crazy is, a lot of the times, especially in business, you do not have to reinvent the wheel, right? That whole saying. You don't have to do something that you think of completely brand new and that's no one's done before. A lot of the time, you simply look at what's already working for other people and either do it better or just do more of that. And that's how you can compete with the best people out there. So that's one of the first piece of action steps for this video is go ahead and do a bunch of market research, look at other creators who are already on the platform and who are already huge on social media, and try to analyze how and why they are so big. Now, the second lesson number 2, is client acquisition. It's all good and well knowing how to do marketing and learning about marketing, but who are you going to be doing marketing for if you don't have any clients? So lesson 2 is going to be all about client acquisition. Now, within client acquisition, there's 1,000,001 different things that we can talk about. Within our online coaching program, within our inner circle, we teach you 8 different ways on how to achieve a client. Matter of fact, we're that confident that you're going to get a client with our coaching that we literally guarantee at least 1 client within the first 30 days of our coaching. Again, if you're interested, you can check that out down below. But whilst you're still watching this YouTube video, well, what are some pieces of advice that I can give you when it comes to outreach? First of all, you must understand that your clients are out there and there are literally millions of them. At the moment, there's over 4.5 million active OF creators, not the users who spend money on that, the actual creators. So you have a potential of 4.5 million active clients to work with. And it's up to you to reach out to as many as possible to try and sign them. And these are the pieces of advice that I give to you guys. So first things first, I really do recommend you guys do 10 personalized outreaches per hour, and then you can do up to 8 times a day. So therefore sending 80 messages a day total. You can send this from your Twitter, you can send this from Instagram, it can either be your personal account or your agency. Again, we teach you the right way within our coaching program. So if you are interested, again, you can find that down below. The reason why you don't want to do like 50 or 60 in 1 hour, like quickly do it, is because typically what tends to happen is the social media platform, they will start to restrict your account. They'll either put a shadow ban on your account or just simply physically not allow you to send out any more messages. So to avoid that, you want to kind of spread those messages out across the entire day. So do 10 an hour, wait a little bit, then do another 10, wait a little bit, and so on and so on. Rinse and repeat that 8 times a day. Now, the next piece of advice, which I kind of already mentioned on the previous one, is make sure that the outreaches are personalized. So what you don't want to do, which is what everybody tries to do, is just try and do it quickly, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. The problem with that is, again, social media, these platforms, they hate anything that is done at scale because they hate spam, they hate bots and all these fake pages and so on. What social media platforms are intended to do is simply to connect with real people. And yeah, I mean, that's literally in the name. It's a social media app. You're meant to be social in there, right? They don't necessarily want you to be copy and pasting a bunch of messages, especially spamming their users, which then that therefore means the users have a bad experience on the app and maybe they log out and they never use it again. So in order to avoid that, they try to minimize the amount of spam that they get in the DMs. And one of the easiest ways that these platforms recognize whether a message is actually real or spam is if it's been copy and pasted multiple times to multiple different people in a short period of time. Now, technically, you can kind of get away with copy and pasting messages if you're only doing about 5 an hour, but 5 an hour is not really going to get you very far. So instead, your first message should absolutely be personalized based off of the person that you're sending it to. So how can you personalize it? Well, you can look at the person's Instagram accounts, and if they've posted something recently, let's just say as an example, they have posted a picture, something similar or related to Easter, well, therefore you can send them a message, something related to their recent post, which was something to do with Easter as an example. Hey, I liked your recent post, you wearing the bunny ears, blah, 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 blah. Obviously a pretty generic example, but you get what I'm trying to say. Instead of copy and pasting a message saying, hey, name, I wanted to reach out to you because we're the best agency and we can help you scale your OnlyFans. Don't do that. That's what everybody does and it doesn't work, right? Make sure that the first message is personalized. So then by now, you guys should understand how to learn about marketing if you're completely brand new, or how to see what the top performers are doing when it comes to marketing. And then the second thing was about client acquisition. Now, once you've done both of these things and you understand them and you're starting to get used to, getting clients on board, doing a bit of marketing for them, etc., how do you really scale? Well, the only way is with lesson number 3, which is to actually track everything, track your results, track what's going good, track what's going bad, how many times you're posting, where are you posting, what kind of results are you getting, where is the traffic coming from, and what's really converting and what isn't. So let's talk about analytics and optimization. So you're going to need to use some sort of a tool where you're able to track both the marketing and the sales and chatting side of things for your agency. So there's one specific tool that all of you guys have to use when it comes to tracking, and that is Inflow. Inflow is going to help you track everything from where is the traffic coming from, what is the conversion like, how many messages are being sent out, and how many messages are being converted into sales, right? So again, I'll give you an example. If you don't have Inflow, you're just going to be using guesswork to figure out what's working and what isn't. Maybe you sent out 100, maybe you sent out 50, maybe you sent out 1,000 messages on OnlyFans specifically to the fans, but you don't know that. You're not going to go for an account every single message by yourself. Instead, this Inflow software does it for you. Not only will it track how many messages are being sent out, it will also track who is sending out the messages. So for example, if you have 3 chatters or more, Inflow is going to be able to track which one of the chatters has sent out the messages, and also how many of those are actually converting into unlocks. So that's of course how you guys make money in the DMs. Now, the other thing that you need to track as well is outreach. As in, when you are reaching out to new prospects, you need to track all of this. And to be honest, I don't think many people are doing this in general, but how are you able to track this? Like, how are you going to be able to scale if you're not tracking it in the first place? And what I mean by this, like, to give you guys a real life example, right? A lot of people come to me and they're like, hey Markuss, this outreach message isn't working. And I ask them, how many messages have you sent out? And they have no idea. Or they'd have a random guess. Oh, between like 300 and 5,000. That's a pretty big margin. Is it 300 or is it 5,000? Because you need to know. But look, this is how you should do it. You should have a Google Sheet, for example, and you basically have different outreach messages and you split test them, right? You should be doing about 1,000 messages with each different type of outreach, and you track how many are being opened, how many are being responded to. And with this one, let's just say you've sent out 1,000 and you've had roughly around 200 responses, and you've booked in, let's just say 20 meetings. Whereas the next one, you sent out 1,000 messages, but you've only had 30 people respond and you only booked in 2 or 3 meetings. Well, you can clearly identify the first one works way better, so you should scale that, and then you keep split testing it. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to refine it to be as good as possible. So these are the 3 core lessons that I learned over the last 5 years. Now, if you don't want to take 5 years to learn what I've said, but actually implement it as quickly as possible and get started and start making money in 2025 as quickly as possible, you guys should all check out the links down below. There's a free community, a free course, and also you have a chance to actually jump on a call with me and my team within that community. So go ahead and click that link down below, join it, like this video. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.